All right, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. I hope you guys can hear me okay. Hope everybody's been doing all right. Sorry, I had to sort out some technical issues, so I should be able to uh work with everything okay. So, let us see here. Let me see. Trying to get rid of this text here. Um, yeah. All right. Is it a little skippy for you guys? Because it's coming up a little skippy on my end a little bit. Wonder what that is. Hold on a minute here. Okay. Yeah, I see at the top of the screen too. There's some glitching going on. Hold on a moment. Let's see. Still really skippy. Hold on. Any of the technical difficulties like this, I'll probably be editing all that crap out later, so you guys won't be dealing with all this nonsense. Man, it's really bad. I wonder if I can deactivate and activate. Much better. Okay. How's that look? Nice and smooth? Nice and smooth. Yeah, it looks like I just had to restart the camera. So, I don't know why, but anywho, as many of you guys have been following me on Instagram, I have, and even on posting on my YouTube page here. 7 months ago, I posted a trailer saying that I would be making a tutorial video showing off how to rehaul a 2018 Michael Myers mask. And that time has finally come. And through all the time, I have realized that doing a live stream would actually be a lot better and a lot easier for me to um, put together and do it more or less a performance than a straight video, because editing the thing is always a pain in the ass. So anyway, to start off, I want to thank everyone for showing up so far. I'm sure over the course of this video there'll be more people showing up, and thank you to everyone after the fact that decided to watch this video. And let's get started. Uh, First, I want to show you what you need. What you need first, of course, is a mask, and the copies vary tremendously. You can get a an okay version like this. The one thing that really sucks is I don't know how much detail you guys can see, is it's just really textured, and it's just really hard to say paint over if you guys decided to go that route instead of stripping the mask. Stripping the mask is possible. There's a couple different ways. The more mainstream way, as it were, would be to use a Dremel tool. I don't necessarily recommend that. So I most of the time would recommend just painting over the mask. I do want to eventually try to see if it is possible to get it to where the I can get the paint to actually peel off, because that is the best method to go with these masks, or any mask really, is to peel the paint off rather than Dremel the mask, because you risk losing a lot of detail. Yeah, the hair is definitely it's okay. It's better than some of the more recent ones that changed hair. You guys can probably see it's a little bit more normal looking, but it's really sprayed down. I might reuse this for say the burn side on a Halloween Kills mask. That's one thing I like to do. So but yeah, painting over the mask all depends on the copy. You can have some that are better than others, and some copies it is really essential, because uh, the paint is just laid on too thick and covering way too many of the details. The copy that you do want to look for is one like this, where the paint is thinner and you can see all the cracks and details very well. You guys can see, and this is the slightly more matted down looking hair, more afro-y. But the mask itself is very nice. And you could easily paint over this and get a very nice rehaul out of it. With some minor tweaks here and there, it can turn out really nice. But the one thing that will have to go is this really bad hair. It's not easy to work with or manipulate after the fact. If you do, it just mats down way too much. So but I'm going to, out of those two, I'm going to start with this guy. So how I'm going to do this video is I'm not necessarily going to be working on this particular mask for the whole thing. I'm going to show you a method, one of two methods, and then I'll show you another method that you can do to start prepping and painting this mask. Because this mask is actually not a mask that I'm selling. It is a mask that is actually a commission. So that's that. But and another added tip with any mask rehauling or art or anything, it's good to have a really decent setup, a really well lit setup. With daylight lighting, if you can swing it. I use two soft boxes that are daylight balanced. That way you can see the true colors, true to life colors, without it being too warm or too cold. Because if you do that, you're when you bring it out in the sunlight, and it doesn't necessarily look right. So to start, we're gonna start stripping the hair on this guy, and it's one of the more tedious aspects, especially once you get to the hairline here, because that's usually secured the most. So one of the things that is a pain in the ass too is the back, because they glue the hair straight along in the back. So want to make sure you get as much of this as possible, because it will look bad if you don't. One little tip is if you want to take out a bunch, you can kind of ball up the hair like this and then pull it out that way. And another thing you can do, I don't have one with me, but I usually use a razor, like a box cutter or an X-Acto. I don't think I have one here by me, but anyway, I'm gonna try and use scissors here to kind of cut the hair, and that also works very well. Alright. And that's doing a really, really good job. There will be some glue residue behind that you'll have to, there we go. I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of glue there that you'll have to peel off too, because it won't paint right. Okay. And anything sharp, always be careful not to cut yourself. And just go ahead and just scrape as much of the hair and the glue as you can. Doesn't have to be 100% perfect just because it's the back of the mask and it's not as visible as the rest. Right. We're going to do the same thing to this side. And you'll want to peel back or pull back as much of the hair as possible to start, then cut through here. If you guys have any questions throughout this stream, you are more than welcome to ask. I can see all your guys' comments. Thanks to everyone who's currently watching. I really appreciate it. Yeah, there's a good example. See that? That's exactly what you want there. Just peel it off. Hello, Rod. Hope you're doing okay. This really, really works out your arms and your hands. So exhausting. Thanks. It's a customer copy. Or more, it's a copy that I had that I'm doing for someone for a commission for, and it's definitely one of the best copies I've had. Has a lot of detail on it. Yeah, I'm hoping to improve my setup eventually. Um, I originally wanted um a face camera, but it didn't quite work out. I need um another webcam to really pull that off, because what I would like to do is have a webcam for my face and then a top-down cam like this to show you guys what I'm doing here. Okay. Do you guys enjoy the silence, or would you guys like for me to put something on, like the music I had going on in the beginning? If you guys like to hear me talking and rambling, that's totally fine, but I feel like it's a little too quiet, you know? And I'm sure um it's a little boring. I'm not expecting too many views right off the bat, or viewers right off the bat, but I already have more views and viewers than I had when I did my live streams on Instagram. Also want to improve my microphone set up too, so it sounds more professional. Okay. The back is pretty well stripped, as it were, of the glued on hair, and there's still some glue, but like I said, I'm not gonna be doing the entire rehaul of this specific mask because I already actually have a mask started that I prepared. That was a commission. That is a commission that I will be switching to once I get to a certain point on this mask. So, um, uh, in past streams I've had on Instagram, I've expressed my thoughts on Halloween Ends, but it's just a little disappointing. It's by no means a horrible film, but it shouldn't have been the third and final film in that trilogy. And that's just me. So, yeah, I appreciate it, Masquerade Workshop. I really, really enjoy your videos too. I just recently watched one of your herring videos, the one that you were first when you were first working with that merino wool here, and I was actually surprised um, when you were, pre-gluing the hair and then tacking it on, not necessarily letting it dry and then gluing it on, but like I've done before, but laying some glue down on a row and on the head and then gluing it on, because that's always one of the hard things about applying the hair is getting the glue to go all the way through and stay down. Of course, I use E6000. I used to use tacky glue. I might play around with it some more, but yeah, that's just me. Okay. It looks like we have an excellent excellent connection for the stream, maybe. Now I'm gonna yank hair here. There will be some glue left behind because um stuff is tenacious. Oh my god. Okay. In instances like this, you will have a very difficult time getting the hair to come off. You can do a couple different things. You can use um, pinchers here. Um, and just there we go. Because you don't want to cramp your hands up. And yeah, the glue on here is laid down pretty thick and won't all come off in one go. So vice grips or pliers or whatever to pull the hair is what I would recommend. Um, Sometimes I've had that happen where I pull the mask hard enough to um rip a hole. It's only happened to me maybe once or twice, but it's relatively easy to fix. You can just patch it up with um liquid latex, essentially, if you just dab it in there. Okay. Man, they really spread out the rows here. Oh, yeah. This side is being a little more cooperative. There we go. Sometimes you can get lucky with the hair. Sometimes you just gotta give it a little bit more of a tug. And I'm not planning to reuse this hair. I usually do. But oh, fudge. Time to use these guys. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. This one's really difficult. Holy crap. Yeah, the copies definitely vary a lot from year to year, I've noticed. Um it all depends on the pull and just the overall quality can um vary. Sometimes the eye cuts are overdone, or the mouth cuts are overdone, and you have to really fill it in. Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. That's definitely what you want. Let's see if I can get this little guy here. And that is a little itty bitty chunk that came out, but it's totally fine. It's not that bad. I don't know if you guys saw that. There's a little bit that I managed to pull out, but it's not a big deal. Can easily be. Oh, Lord. Oh. Oh. The hairline, at least on the side, is actually coming out really, really good. surprisingly. And that's the worst, to have residual glue or hair left over and you're trying to redo it. Just means that you have to lay the hair on top of it and or past it, and it doesn't always look right. It just come right out there. And as I am doing this, I actually have some references for you guys to see. Let me cue them up really fast here. If you guys want to know where you can get good references for 2018s, you can look on YouTube. Sean Clark did a YouTube video showing off the 2018 mask, so look up Sean Clark on YouTube. I forgot what his YouTube name is. And you can also look deep, deep into Nick Castle's Twitter account and see the references that he has. And these are just a few of the references that I use. And they are, in my opinion, some of the best references you can get. Yep, that's his name. Yeah, that's his YouTube channel. So, yeah, look on Sean Clark's YouTube channel for that video, and I basically just took snapshots throughout the video, and he does a really good job, thank God, getting up close on all the details. I only wish that we got the other for Halloween Kills. I wish we got a few more references for that. The only videos we got from Sean Clark was Nick's copy of the kills, which isn't the one that's used in the film. But yeah. And we're back. Just like I did on the neck, you can do the same thing. Just basically just cutting the hair. To make it smoother. And I would not recommend using chemicals on latex masks, because it will, if you use too much, especially on the face, it will distort the mask. And if you do use chemicals to strip any areas, use very, very little. You can probably at least try use chemicals to remove some of the glue from the scalp here, but there really isn't a point to. So yeah, you want to get as much of the hair off as possible because it will conflict with yeah, uh I wouldn't recommend using I mean, I guess you could use clippers to buzz the head, but it would only be the top layer because if you do use clippers to cut the hair, you don't want to go too deep because you'll hit the glue and the glue will ruin the clippers. Okay. Yeah, it's crazy how much space. It's like it's like 3 inches or so that they leave on there. Right? I wish there was a solvent that could strip the paint without it distorting uh the mask or whatever. But it's really tricky because the paints are latex based and I guess they somewhat bond to the mask. So if you have latex paint on a latex mask, having a solvent try attack just I don't know, maybe if there was a solvent to just attack certain aspects of the paint and not the latex necessarily, then maybe it would be easier without it not affecting it. Speaking of Halloween games, I heard, um, or I saw rather, that uh, there's a sequel to fan-made Halloween game coming out. I haven't seen the footage of it yet. Halloween 2. Good old Vice Grips. Getting a drink. Oh, nope. Man. Oh. Ow. That is no good for my wrist. No, no good. Of course, some of it's coming out. There we go. Seems if I just go right above where the glue is, that helps too. But, um, oh. Oh. This big old pile of hair here. As far as how long it takes for me to do a Trick or Treat Studios 18, on and off, probably a week or two. It all depends on how much time I have, because I have a full-time job in addition to this, so I try to make as much time as I can. Um, I've been working on commissions after work every day for a while, get them out of the way because I have a lot of catching up to do. I currently have 7 commissions left that I'm hoping to get done in the next few months. So, after I get through commissions, I will be strictly just selling masks. So that way I can work at my own pace and it won't be the end of the world if I don't get to work on um, a mask or something. Okay, I'm gonna use scissors to cut the glue down. Glue lips up a little bit. Yeah, I've heard naphtha works really good. Um, my job that I work at, um, ooh, woo-hoo-hoo. Anyway, I make paint for True Value, believe it or not. I started that job in June. That's been what I've been doing the past few months, and naphtha is one of the solvents that we use a lot. And let me tell you, there's plenty of worse chemicals that I work with, but I have not used naphtha yet. I might. Um, the only thing I have now is mineral spirits. I've tried that a little bit, but I've kind of been holding off on it um, a little bit. I didn't want to get too carried away. Yeah, I might use mineral spirits again. It just At least the kind that I have kind of stinks. Um, because I tried looking up online about naphtha and mineral spirits and stuff, and I just read that it can distort the mask. I was not sure whether or after how long it would take for the mask to reshape afterwards. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that video masquerade workshop. Um, I really enjoy watching your videos. It is a very helpful resource. Okay. Looks like almost about as good as I'm gonna get. Okay. Gonna cut the hair a little more on the top here. And then I'm gonna switch gears. Yeah, unlike Nick, I will be showing 100% what I do and essentially the making of um, masks I work on. I know he only uploads portions of some of his tutorials and puts the rest for a price. But I'm I enjoy sharing my knowledge and having other people share their knowledge if there's something that I don't know about. Um, the community that Rehauling community has gotten better and better, and everybody's just so much more open how things are done, because way back in the day, um, it was a little bit more closed off in a way. But now things have changed tremendously. Okay. So, got the hair like about 98% off, I'd say. Big old ball of hair here. And the next stage would essentially be looking over and seeing that there's any imperfections to the mask. If you want to alter the eye cuts, alter the mouth, cut down any bumps, but at least on this copy, there are not that many at all. So it's gonna be it for this mask for a little while, and I'm gonna actually switch to a different copy. In a moment here. It's another really good copy. You can actually switch the head on it. First, take the head off of it. Okay. This is a mask I've already started, and this is actually another really detailed copy. And what I've done is I've stripped the hair, of course, and laid down somewhat of a base coat. I didn't want to go too crazy because I did like some of the texturing with the paint underneath. So I wanted to keep that. But I don't know how much detail you guys can see, but there's still... Hold on. Let me try something here. I'm going to turn off one of my lights here and see if you can see any of the details. Sometimes if you show off a light here, my webcam might not be the best, but yeah. So I laid down a base coat, and what I use for base coats on these is Zombie Flesh Medium from Nightshades. You can get these at motionpictureeffects.com or Nightmare Toys, and I highly recommend them. You can also try and mix your own with 1 part slightly thicker mask latex, whatever color you want to use for acrylic paint, and if you want it to be thinner, another part of distilled water. But yeah, at least that's what I've heard the ratio is. I've always had trouble with the ratio over the years. That's why I switched to just using mask latex. It's not the end of the world. What colors do you have for Killer? Because you can essentially make a comparable color. What I would recommend is if you don't have Zombie Flesh Medium, you can use white and then just use some yellows and browns to get kind of like a vanilla ice cream color, and it will work just fine because Nightshades mix really well with acrylic paints. and they won't crack or anything. So, anywho, back to this. On this mask, I'm going to be trying a rub out method, or rub off or rub out method. So, what that entails is doing a black wash over the entire mask and letting it sit for a sec, let it dry a little bit, and then rubbing off the black so the details sink in to all the cracks. I usually do what's called a dry brush method, which is the exact opposite. You start with a dark base coat and then you dry brush um, the whites and off whites on top of it. But I feel that um, with certain copies you can get away with just doing a rub out, and sometimes um, the texture will be a lot smoother if you do a rub out versus a dry brush, because with all the different layers you get, it adds texture. It doesn't look terrible. There's ways you can smooth it down with the different layers, but it's still not too bad. But yeah, once I get a base coat that I like, and after the rub out, I dry brush regular white on top because the actual screen used has variations in different layers of off-white and white. So that's that. I think I'm going to do another base coat. I'm going to do some zombie flesh medium here. And actually, going to do some zombie flesh medium, and I'm going to mix some varnish with it. The varnish, I like to use varnish to tone down um, some of the details so they're not too um, not tone down the details, but tone down the texture so it's not as dramatic. So, all right. And just mix. Makes it really good. And you can start out with a bunch and then spread it over the whole mask here. You don't want big brush strokes. You want to thin it out and make sure you don't have any annoying hairs because that's always a pain. Because you don't want hair to dry on your mask. Didn't realize there were so many hairs in this brush. Okay, I think it's fine now. And just get all the little nooks and crannies. and spread it out. Real nice and thin. You don't want globs of paint to dry, but I'm mainly doing this layer to even the textures out a little bit here and not have hairs on the mask. So annoying. There. Sponge painting, I don't necessarily recommend. Um, I mean, for certain applications during the process, you can get away with it, but sponge painting is more of a technique you would use for a Halloween Part 6 mask. And to answer your question, Lexin, having a brush like this is what I would recommend for dry brushing. You want a nice flat brush to lay all the layers on. But I won't be using dry brush for this stage. No habla español, Genesis. I took Spanish in high school, but I only know a little bit. Um, but yeah, I have an airbrush, but I don't have all of the stuff I need to get it to work properly because I actually ended up breaking one of the airbrushes that I had, and I got a different and cheaper one, but I think I don't have a strong enough air compressor to get it to work properly because I can't get the paint to come out. It's not like clogged or anything. It's brand new, and I just loaded the paint into the thing. It's a single action Pache. I just couldn't get the paint to come out. I also have like a mini air compressor too, so maybe there's just not enough um, air coming through to push the paint out. I don't know. But yeah, I'm mostly gonna be worrying about the face to smooth out. I'm kind of want to keep some of the blotchiness, maybe. We'll see. I thinned the paint quite a bit, and shots, still wouldn't come out. I just think there's not enough pressure coming through. Um, and just spread it out as much as you can. At least for this method, you don't have to go too crazy with the base coats. It depends on how much of the original paint you want underneath. If you had the original paint underneath still, and if you didn't strip the mask already. Okay. I think I'm gonna do the neck. Just to even things out a little more. I can add some of the blotchiness that I want later on. But you just, to get rid of most of the brush strokes, you just want to paint it till, it just spreads out and you don't see them. That makes sense. And if you do get very, very fine brush strokes, it's not a big deal as long as you don't have thick ones. Because that will dry and add texture later. Texture you don't want. Okay. Cosplay, Chris. Thanks for stopping by, bro. Yeah, it sucks that the that nightshades is not as easy to get, but I mean there are other ways to do it. And there are ways to make your own paint. So, I mean, nightshades I just use out of convenience, so I don't have to worry about making my own. But I highly recommend the tutorial videos done by Ed Edmonds from Distortions Unlimited. Um, he does some great videos showing you how to do pretty much every aspect of mask making, from painting to sculpting, you name it. I'm not sure what nightshades is made out of. It doesn't say any ingredients. Of course, I don't know if they want to divulge their recipe, but I'm not going to worry about the back too much because I'm going to be darkening that up. I'm mainly going to be worrying about um, the face, and then from there I'll just blend that into what I'll do with the neck, and then the neck to the, you know, the back area here. I've never thought of doing that, Mr. Horror. Having somebody actually mix it in that sense. I've heard of using house latex paint, but because that's what Ed Edmonds suggested. Okay. Now rinse that out. You don't wanna leave your brushes um in the latex or mask paint because it will ruin the brushes. I mean, this one's already partially gone, but at least it still works. Um, yeah. One thing I will do here before I continue is I'm gonna use a blow dryer, and I'm gonna spare you guys the sound of the blow dryer. So here it goes. All right. 21 likes and 21 concurrent, 19 now, 19 concurrent viewers. That's more than I've had on Instagram. All right. I'm of, let's see, do I have all of this stuff? Yes, I do. Thank God. I'm gonna do a pass at is this? I'm gonna do a pass at um another layer of a seal, essentially, with flex gloss. What I've been doing with the rub outs I've been working on is adding an extra layer of assurance. So I won't have to worry about getting too rough with the rub out. So I like to add another seal to help with the rub out process. And this is Flex Gloss by Monster Makers. Really great stuff. And it's another good way and another simple way if you want to make your own mask paints, essentially. But it does, the only caveat is it's glossy. Because if you mix acrylics with Flex Gloss, you essentially have flexible mask paint, and it works pretty well. So again, this smooths out some of the textures and bumps from the stock paint, and it still keeps the details, of course, and it helps with the rub off method. Does latex paint? Latex paint does not stir. Um, I honestly don't know, Lexon. I just, take some out and um, start painting, you know? Okay. Now, I'm gonna do another blow dry pass. So, I'm gonna spare all your guys' ears. All right. I'm gonna cut this stream at around 5 o'clock Central Standard Time here. It is currently 4:27. Gonna try and keep these videos not abnormally long. I've had them be like 4 hours or whatever on Instagram. So you guys don't have to scrub through too much. So the next step in this process is very important. You need to use black acrylic paint. Has to be acrylic. I've seen other people use rub outs with FW ink, I want to eventually try FW ink because I heard it works pretty good. You use FW ink and alcohol, but for my uses, I'm just going to be using black acrylic. You do not want to use mask paint because it will not rub off. So I'm going to, I'm just going to put it here. All right. And then I'm going to use this brush this time. I'm just going to water it down. Water it down nice and good. You don't want it too thin or too thick. So, all right. Now for the messy part. So you want to make sure and have all the areas covered, all the areas that you want to get all the detail out of. You want to lay it on thicker in the areas where you want the detail to come out more. And I think I will, there we go. Yeah, and you can lay it on thicker in the details too. Especially on the cheeks and just like this area of the face where there's very intricate details. Bring it up higher here. Hopefully it's not too out of focus because the focus distance with this web camera is not the best, but it's something. I eventually want to upgrade my web cameras so they're higher quality so you guys can see more details. Yeah, the paint that I used is Zombie Flesh Medium, not light. You want to make sure that there's not big globs of latex, not latex, big globs of paint. It is very windy here in Illinois, currently where I'm at. Comes and goes. I don't know what the weather is like for you guys. Yeah, I have not done the rub out method on a stream before. I've only done the dry brush method on stream, I think. I'll have to look if I want. The reason why you want to use acrylic, and of course not mask paint, is because when it dries, it becomes brittle and easier to rub off on a smooth surface versus mask paint, which of course bonds to the mask, and you don't want something that adheres to the mask when you're doing a that method like this. And again, you want to focus and make the very important details nice and dark and prominent, so they can be accentuated and dialed in later. Because believe it or not, there are some details in the hero that are not visible that are visible in these, and it's not because of a different sculpt or anything. It's not nothing about that. It's because some of the cracks and whatnot are actually filled in. Like, say, the cheek area, for instance, there's areas where a lot of artists have just done rub outs and shown every single crack detail, but on the hero, it looks much different, and that's sometimes whenever I see rehauls, it sometimes they're a little bit too detailed and show off uh, way too much detail. And then there are some that don't have enough detail. But again, it's all personal preference mixed with whatever references you like to use. And I don't use references until I get to the detail portion um, later on. And I won't be getting that far in this video yet. And the other parts I do, part 2, 3, and however many parts it takes, I'm gonna go over all those details and um, and hopefully with enough support I can um, have a better online streaming setup for you guys so you guys can have a higher quality experience with what I do. So, all right, I'm gonna let this sit for a moment while I look at your guys's questions here. All right. Okay. What made you decide to put these Rehaul videos out for free? Because if you showed a pic of your work and had a tutorial video linked, I bet you it would sell for sure. I love these videos though. Um, I I honestly don't have the time to throw together a video for sale or to sell yet. I will eventually once my methods become a little bit more, I guess, refined and I have time to actually edit something more professional. Um, these live videos, these live tutorial streams are the easiest for me right now at the moment. So that's why um, I decided to do these for free and use these tutorial videos and these streams as a vehicle of sorts to just promote myself and grow myself up more, grow an audience, and then lean towards, the financial side of it. Because, like I said, I have a full time job. I'm not dependent on this financial success or anything. So, I hope to one day get to that point because um, there are other things that I want to get into. Like I want to get into more digital design stuff and print on demand stuff, whether it be t-shirts, art, that kind of thing. And by the way, um, there are links to my Etsy shop in the description. If any of you guys want to support what I do and my channel and whatnot, you guys should check out my Etsy shop. I have two t-shirts. One is a Closet Monster Creations logo t-shirt, kind of like this, but minus the trippy background. Um, and then another one is one that I designed, and it has a Halloween pumpkin with a knife in it. So if you guys want to support me in the channel, I would really appreciate you looking into that. And eventually, I want to start, say, a Patreon or a subscription-based thing through YouTube. So, I just need to figure out the specifics of that, because YouTube has their own version of that where you essentially have a membership to have exclusive access to different behind the scenes stuff or things of that nature. But I need to do more research before I get into that. Yeah. Yeah, Mac. It's definitely something to look into. Um, I need to figure out my game plan, and then if I know you and I are friends on Facebook. If you ever want to talk about that, and if you have any insight into that, I'd greatly appreciate it because I want to grow this whole thing and make it into something really special. So, oh, and if you do want to get a T-shirt of the Closet Monsters logo, I highly recommend getting it in purple because that At least to me, it looks the best in purple, but that's just me. Okay, now once you have it nice and dry and it's all, matte colored, the next step is actually rubbing off, and we just have the perfect amount of time to do that. Got 15 minutes left. Okay, and this, pardon me, for this step, you will want to use a cloth with a fine fiber count and not like a towel or anything. You can use a paper towel too, that's perfectly fine. But basically this is a t-shirt material. I don't know how well the camera can pick up on this, but yeah, it's basically a t-shirt material, and all you need to do is I like to fold it a little bit and then take some water. I know it's kind of contaminated water here, but it doesn't necessarily matter. And start rubbing off the black acrylic. And it will be a little tenacious in some areas. I might have to put a styrofoam head on this guy. Yeah, sometimes you need a little. Oh, here we go. Sometimes it takes a little bit of. Okay, got a mannequin head here. Mm, This is not coming off as much as I would like. Okay. I'm gonna try a little some here to help it along. I think I laid it on too thick. It's kind of embarrassing. It works there a little bit. Man, I don't know what I did. I got way too thick or something. But you can see it's usually not this difficult. I think I have alcohol somewhere I can use, but just rub off and you can see the details coming through. It's usually not this hard, but I think I kind of shot myself in the foot a little bit. Wonder if freeing it up a little bit will help. Yeah, that's what I'm trying now. See if that helps a little bit. See, it's looking a little, looks like I'm roughing up a little too much. Let's see. I know I have alcohol somewhere around here. There it is. Okay. All right. Sometimes you gotta use a little extra, and sometimes water isn't enough. So, I'm gonna try some alcohol here. There we go. There we go. That's what does it. If water doesn't work, just use some alcohol. There we go. I'll move this out of the way. Again, you don't want to do you don't want to take too much of the black off. There we go. Um, I don't want to use paint or lacquer thinner on this just because I don't want it to take off what I already established underneath. But alcohol seems to be doing the trick. There's areas where it was a little rubbed off too much. But that can be fixed. Seems to be working pretty good. Later on I'll be dialing in the texture because some of the black makes it look a little stony. Um, Alcohol is not as strong as other stuff. And this is also why I put down a layer of sealer underneath or before doing this step, because I knew if I had to rough it out a little bit that I won't remove a lot of the base underneath. And once I remove as much as I can, I will be doing a dry brush method on top and throughout the mask to if there's any details that didn't come out or translate using dry brush helps. It's not all rub out method, so that's that. It's all trial and error. Doesn't always go 100% how you want, because unlike a Bob Ross painting, happy accidents don't always happen, and you just have to make it work. Takes a little bit of oomph to get it loose. Comes off pretty well. See? Okay. And if there's some details that you rub out and take too much out, kind of like what I just did there, like I said, you can go over it again and do a dry brush method instead. Only reason I didn't do dry brush method with this is because I already had a base laid down, and it would have taken a little longer to lay out all the different layers. Again, that's something I wish I had a working airbrush setup for. Sorry, I'm out of camera there. Mod Podge versus Plasti Dip. I haven't used either, and I wouldn't trust any of that. Because I've heard mixed things about Plasti Dip, and haven't heard a whole lot about Mod Podge. So didn't 100% go as I would have liked, but in the early stages, it's not the end of the world. But in the next stream or video, I will be dialing all this in and tweaking it up and making it look better. Right now it looks stretched out. Hold on, let me. Doesn't look like much now, but it'll look alright once I'm done layering all the paint on top of it. This is not, but if you were to do a dry brush method, again, it would be the opposite of this. And I feel that you have more control in a dry brush method versus a rub out method, because as you can see, it doesn't always pan out the way you want. So I'm just gonna have to do dry brush method with the rest of it. So hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Let me know in the comments below after the fact what you guys think. And I will probably doing streams as often as possible. Um, Going over this mask, it'll probably be throughout the week, probably. Because that's how often I was doing streams. I would do streams after I get off work. So, thanks for everybody for tuning in. And if you guys have any more questions, let me know in the next few moments here. And the sad thing is, I've seen rehaul artists say this is done paint wise and then just put hair on it and put it on eBay for $200. I've seen that happen, unfortunately. But yeah, just one quick question for all of you. If you guys want to leave a comment, as far as where you guys heard of me, where you guys came from, whether it be Instagram or YouTube, that would be most helpful for me. That would be a helpful thing to know, so I know where my audience is and where my reach is. That would be great. And uh, I'm planning on doing streams for um, kills and ends. I've done live streams for at least on my Instagram for Halloween ends, but a little upside down view of me. Hello. I'm gonna change the view here. I'm thinking of just working on the current Halloween trilogy in order. I'm probably gonna work on my live stream series on me working on a Halloween Kills mask too. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed uh, the stream. Over the course of more streams I do, it'll become more refined and hopefully my setup will be better. This logo intro thing is probably the most professional thing I have right now with the motion background and everything. So, follow me on Instagram for when I go live. I'll be posting updates on when I'll be going live on there, and I'll probably be making events here on YouTube. So, until next time, guys, thanks for coming.